Hello and welcome. In our previous tutorial, we were able to look at the search functionality in our website. I was also able to maybe make a few additions or changes onto the front end. As you can see, these buttons were not looking like this before. Just added some outline and the logo for the website. I've also added it and added an anchor so that whenever you click it, opens the home page. Then if you go to the about page, you also see that the buttons have made some changes into on the buttons, and I've also added some images like this one for Django and the other one for Bootstrap, and yeah, that's it. So in this tutorial, we're going to look at how to run unit tests. And unit tests are part of any very important part of any development or any software or any project because they enable us to be able to ensure that everything is working correctly. And there's a term that is normally used in the dev world, which is called the TDD, test-driven development, whereby you create test cases based on what you want to maybe achieve, and then you develop your solution based on those tests. So in this case, we decided to put these step towards the end of the tutorial. Uh, but you should always do tests whenever you develop something like the way we developed a homepage or maybe the about page. You should be able to kind of run the tests. So in this case, first of all, you're going to look at the tests and the Django's unit tests are leveraged from the unit tests library for Python. And we have what you call the test case, and we have the simple test case. So the test case, I'm not going to go into much detail, but the test case normally works with the testing cases which involve the model or the database, whereas the simple test case, I'm not sure if it is covered somewhere here. You can be with them. Simple test case. You can be. They do not involve the model. They involve the templates that are not interacting maybe with the model. That's the description. Simple description that I can give. So yeah, we have the test case and we have the simple test case. Yeah, so if your Django application does not use a database, you use simple test case. However, if it is otherwise, then you can use the test case. So the simple test case involves checking callables, rendering URL, and also redirects and clients. And we're going to see how we can probably use this. So our first step will be there are two pages in our website that don't use the database. Uh, Most of the database interaction is inside the contact page and inside the blog page. Whenever you create a blog post, that is a create. Whenever you, like now, I'm trying to read a post, that is read. And if I want to update, that is an update task or an update operation. And if I want to delete the blog post, if I'm the one who created it, then that is a delete. So that is the CRUD processes which operations which work within the blog. Whenever I also do a search here, I am querying the database. So we also have the contact page and also I believe, yeah, also the account page whenever you're signing up. So this leaves us with the home and the about page. So we will begin with the home page and we'll do some tests on the home page. And these tests are coded inside these tests for every application that you create. Like in my case, I have the website application. So it has tests. So if I would have created another application, then it will also be implemented inside there. Actually, we already have it here, the users application that is handling the user management. We have another tests inside that folder, but we are going to be testing for the website. So let's begin with the, so I've said we are using the simple test case since we are not doing some tests in the model. And there are two things we are going to test. We are going to be testing the requests, the get requests, and we test if they are working. So we will also import from Django URLs. We're going to import reverse, and we're also going to import resolve. So resolve is normally used. I think we've used it somewhere in our previous tutorial. It is used to resolve a URL path to a corresponding view function or view class. Okay, and we are going to see how. So we will begin by creating a class, and I need to add two lines, and we will call it. I'll call it home, not hemp, home page tests, and its subclass is the simple test case. It inherits from the simple test case, and we will also create a method here that is setup, and basically this method we will be think of it as an initializer of sorts. So I'm going to add the a variable that corresponds to our URL, and it will be, we'll get the reverse, and the home page, we need to add the URL for the home page, which is I can confirm this in the URL. So our home page is home, so I'm going to add that variable to represent home, and then we will have another variable for the HTTP response, which will refer to the client, and it's a get request for our URL. So let's look at this client. So the client uh, is used to check for the it's normally used in the HTTP requests and HTTP the get and the post requests, among others, and we will use it to get a number of things, including the status code, and that's, I believe, that's what we will test as the first step. So normally the test functions are normally prefixed by the word test. That's why we have test underscore, and the first thing that we will check is the status code, and we will use an assert function. For those of us who have used the assert, you can see all these assert functions that we have here. You can test for so many things. In this case, we will just test that our status code corresponds to the HTTP status code number 200. And let's look at these HTTP status codes. Status codes, I think it can make reference to the Mozilla Development Network. Yeah, so for successful responses, this is what we have. They range between 200 and 299. And the others are also appear here as shown. So let's go back to the code. And so this one simply tests that the response code is equals to 200. And we can also test for the template. So I'll just fix it with test home template. And inside these, I will also add an assert. So we can also test for the template used or the template not used. Okay. So in this case, I will test template used. And the template used, I may make reference to the views because this is where we specify the template. And the template name is for the homepage view is home.html. So I'm not sure if I use the whole path. Let me just try and use it. Template used. So we check on the response, and one of the parameters is the template. So we'll test that the template being used is home.html. And then we can also test the contents of the HTML. So we can test HTML content, and inside here we'll also add an assert. In this case, I can use the negative. I can test assert does not contain or assert not contains, and we'll check the self.response, and I can add some. I'll actually do a Swahili word, which is habari yako, which let's see whether it normally it tests whether these word exists within the HTML. And after I've done that, I can be able to test. We have not used the resolve, so let me also add a test for checking that it resolves to the home page. And I can add a test. You can call say URL resolve home, and we can add our home view. So remember, the resolve is used to resolve a URL or a URL path to a corresponding or a given view. So it's like the reverse of what we have here. It's a reverse of it checks whether this, for example, the contact corresponds to the contact page. So just close this, and then so our home view is equals to resolve. Then you can add some few lines of code. So we will test, we'll use an assert equal, and we will test that the view or the home view name is equals to the homepage view. And in this case, it means that I need to import the view from views, import homepage view. So we'll use the homepage view dot as view, and basically this checks whether the two names correspond. Okay, and yeah. So let's see. After you have added your test, the test can be as many as you like. You can test so many things. We can even test template used and template not used and all that. So let's run our tests, and to run our tests, we make use of the command manage.py test. You can specify the application name. So in this case, we'll say we'll type in docker compose exec web python manage.py. Then we run our tests on website, which is the name of our application. But if you want to run the system wide or the all the tests in all the applications, you can leave it as it is. So in this case, I'll just leave it as it is because I've not added any tests in the users. So it states that it has found 4 tests, and this is like our initializer. So it's not a test in itself, but you can check, and it actually says method setup overrides the class test case. So depending on the number of tests you have, it may take some seconds or some minutes. Yeah, so we have an issue. We have homepage view, homepage test name. So we have an issue in our line 24. So let's see where the issue is. So I have made a typo. So we have home view dot func dot. This is a dunder method, a double underscore method. So you need to have the double underscores on each uh, side. So I was missing these double underscores after the name. So let's do a test. So whenever you have an error in your tests, then you can. This is how it appears. As you can see here. Test URL resolve home. This is where the function and the error where the error is, and then you can work on it and see where the problem is. So let's run our tests once again. See what we get. So as I've said, you can add so many tests as you please. So we can run our tests on even each page. So you can see we have run our tests and we have no issues. So and it's showing the number of tests which have been run. So we will see how we can test one with the test case in our next step or in our next tutorial. But nevertheless, this is how you run your tests, unit tests in your Django applications. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. You can drop a like in the video. And don't forget to click on the bell icon so that whenever I create content, you can be able to receive a notification. Thank you for watching.